So exciting.
I know.
Welcome to the Marvel Movie Minute live. Hello, Internet. It's so nice to see everyone. Or at least you can see us. We can't actually see you.
That's true. Yeah.
But, you know, if you want, I can say something, you can respond, and I can pretend like I hear you. No.
Hello, Kyle.
Everyone needs more closeness in this very strange time. So here we are. I guess this is episode 2?
Yeah.
3,
I don't know how
guess?
we... Minutes 6 through 10, but episode 2... Yeah, it's...
Yeah, numbering, not
exactly.
our strong suit.
But it's not bad.
So you want to start with talking about what we talked about?
Oh, well, first of all, just welcome. Welcome for those of you who are tuning in. If you're watching this later on, this is our sort of recap show of the Marvel Movie Minute podcast. Check us out. Go to thenextreel.com or go to marvelmovieminute.com. You can follow along. We just recap as the episodes come out and talk about that. And yes, I think I hear it.
Oh, there she is.
As always, it's fun. It's Irina's recap. What did we have? We had a. We're still only. And if you're just joining this and you stumbled along this and you're like, "What is this?" We take right now. We're in season 3. This is Iron Man 2. We're taking it minute by minute. You can go ahead and follow along on our podcast. We do this deep dive. This past week, we had our good friend, the Next Reel's Andy Nelson, who was our guest.
The former host of Marvel Movie Minute.
Oh yes, former host from season 1, correct,
right.
From the original Iron Man.
Yep.
A little intimidating, but that's okay. I totally understand. What we did the fall of Tony Stark. You had your whole premise about.
I did.
This is his story of the fall, like how he messes up.
It starts out with him literally falling to Earth. Yeah. So we find out of Russia. We're into New Jersey. So make your own joke there. And so we had Tony's doing his big presentation at the Stark Expo.
Oh, look at you!
I came prepared.
You are
So we talked about Tony appearing and having his own branded blood toxicity meter, even laser etched on it and everything. I don't think we talked about the fact that he mysteriously changes clothes. I think we bring that up a little bit later.
Oh, I know, later on. That comes later. If you think we missed that, yeah. We didn't miss it. We just delayed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we talked about like how he can he can now get out of his suit and then be wearing his suit. We talked about all the logos, so we did some history a little bit that way, and we talked a lot about Disney, because even though Disney was not involved in the making of this movie, their presence is heavily felt, because the appearance of Howard Stark and his visit from beyond the grave actually is very, very directly referencing Disney, and also including the music that went along there. So we gave a big shout out to John Debney, who did some fantastic music for this. Probably that's so far the best of the Marvel scores.
Oh yeah. You brought up. You had the points about the Expo song. I know we talked about what was it? The great moments with Mr. Lincoln. I think you brought up.
That's right. Yeah. The Sherman Brothers did all the music, so they got to the one surviving Sherman brother created a brand new song in the classic Disney style for this. Make Way for Tomorrow Today. You can hear that on the soundtrack. It's very good. I think you even hear it while you're on YouTube. You might even be able to just. After we're done, go and search for it. I'm sure it's on there somewhere. It's a very, very good song, and it's a nice little shout out to Disney fans too, of which Jon Favreau is one.
Absolutely, and we did probably more. We talked more about the Iron Nets than probably could have been thought to be humanly possible.
That's right.
Very cool though.
Right, and we were able to do a deep dive and find out who they were. Let's say they're all still alive, so don't worry. But to find out where they're at in their careers, because this was 10 years ago, and what they've been doing since then. Some have retired, and some are still continuing to work. So it was nice to sort of check in with that, because they worked very hard for their very short amount of screen time. So,
yeah, we did. It was really good. I remember the. What was it I think it's minute 6, we talked about the deleted scene, how the movie could have been totally different.
Oh, right. Yeah.
When it started off. It was, please,
they made the right choice.
Yes. Oh, no. And the movie is exactly the way it should be, not the deleted scene.
Yeah, even though I do miss the kissing the helmet and throwing it out that's in the trailer. That was a nice little touch.
That's true. The toilet, I don't miss the toilet.
No, I don't miss the toilet or the drug discussion or any of that
Which,
stuff.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
No. Check it out, though. Make sure you catch up, and then you can jump right in with minute 11. Yeah, it's minute 11 already.
Yeah, minute 11 will be out on Monday.
This week. And we'll talk about that at the end of today's show.
Yep.
All right. So,
Is it meanwhile in the MCU? Because I'm not ready. Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, no, it's Marvel's.
Kind of it is.
It is the newsiverse, as we like to call it. A big week last week. We'll get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but
we'll get there.
Big announcements. Craziness, scheduling.
The biggest one is we now know when and how we're going to see Black Widow, because after more than a year of delays, we're finally getting it the way you want it to go. So if you can get safely to watch it in a movie theater, you'll be able to. If you don't and you want to watch it at home, you'll be able to too, because it will be coming out on Disney Plus with premiere access on the same day. And they have moved that day, unfortunately. So that's the good news. The bad news is we'll have to wait a little bit longer. So now on July 9th, that is when Black Widow will be released to the world. And there's a great exhaling amongst all of us Marvel fans. Like, oh, thank goodness. I'm hoping that, Arizona has actually been very aggressive in getting out the vaccine. So I'm hoping by the time July rolls around that we will be in a safe place in time to watch it. I'm fine watching wearing a mask. And, and if knowing the majority of people there will also be masked and all be vaccinated as well. Okay, then pack the theater. Then I'm okay with that. I'm fine wearing a mask through the whole show to be in the room together. But if you're not in a situation where you can do that, you can then also pay the $30, which is what Premier Access is, and watch it at home through your Disney Plus subscription, and then you get to keep it. So essentially, eventually, if you're willing to wait, Black Widow will be coming to Disney Plus in probably by the end of the year. See, they usually about 3-4 months or so. So I would say by October.
Right.
It will be just part of their catalog for free. So if you want to wait, you can wait and do that too. But for those of us who can't wait, we will be able to see it. So it's very, very exciting that they have now decided to do that, because I think it is the best solution.
Oh, yes.
Because it allows both the freedom for both. And I wonder where they got that idea.
Well, we've been. Let me ask you this. All right. What was the point though of moving it to July? Any particular strategy in that?
I don't know.
It's not like they needed time to flip the switches, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been wrapped in the can. Like, we have heard about with James Bond, the new James Bond, we've heard they're going back and shooting new stuff. But for Black Widow, what we've been told is it's locked. Like, it was done. It was in the shoot and ready to go. A year ago. Like by the time March rolled around last year, it was ready to roll out. So now I don't know why, unless they're just doing it to give that much more breathing room to get theaters up and running.
Right. Yeah.
This way they're not, because they were going to be first out of the gate, and now I believe Fast and Furious is going to be the first one out of the gate to sort of restart the movie
industry.
Experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Tenet, I know, but still.
No, but in this year for this year.
Yeah. For the basically summer starts in June.
Yeah, I thought. Well, when I first saw that news, when it broke and we were texting each other, and I'm like, wow, okay, first of all, bummer, because I was getting excited because we've talked about this, I was assuming that they were going to do the Disney premiere in May.
Yeah.
And just say, finally, okay, we realize things are not where they need to be. July's fine, but the thing I find perplexing is, you look at the rest of the release dates, because the other big news last week was that then they said, okay, well, here's how it dominoes, right, to the rest of the movies.
Yeah.
It's packed.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking
the back half of the year. Yeah.
Black Widow July 9th,
Yep.
Shang-Chi September 3rd, which I can't believe that's the next movie, right?
I know. And also, it's time for a trailer.
Yes.
We're not that far away. It's about to be April. Like, that comes out in September. Like, it's time. Like, it's time to start releasing footage. It's time to start releasing stills. Time to start talking about showing us the look. Like, it's time.
Well, and okay, spoiler for something we were going to talk about just in a few minutes. We're constantly running into, because of this craziness with schedules and things getting delayed, there is more and more of what's happening is that spoilers are happening through product reveals.
Yes.
Right? Images are coming out.
Right.
I will tell you.
This is what I'm saying. So I know it is a little bit of the entitled fanboy, yes.
Right.
But at the same time, I want to see the footage. I want to see how Shang-Chi looks now before I get to see him from Lego.
Well, and that's the problem, because if you don't know, and we won't spoil you if you want to search it out, you can. Shang-Chi Lego set images got leaked like what 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, which I have not looked at. I've not
Oh,
seen.
you haven't?
But at some point, like it'll
Yeah.
probably cross my path in the same way that I wait a day to watch Masked Singer, and I am consistently spoiled just by news aggregates who who like to put the entire thing right in the thumbnail.
Right. So there you were dealing with that. No, but I guess that you forget that Shang-Chi is that far along in its production. And so, wow, I mean, September, that's crazy. Okay, but
Yeah, I think they've already done reshoot. I mean, they've already done their round of reshoots too.
Like, oh my God, okay. Eternals November 5th, which, Shang-Chi is now leapfrog. That's coming out before Eternals. Eternals was originally to be the movie that followed Black Widow last year. Spider-Man December 17th.
Yeah.
Back-to-back movies.
Yeah.
And then how does that work? And then when you think, oh, okay, well then we end the year, it's going to be great. Right now, according to what they've released, Thor Love and Thunder February 11th and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness March 25th.
Yeah.
What?
So that's within like less than a calendar year. That's 6 Marvel movies.
Wait,
Like,
and by the way, we haven't talked about the shows.
Holding back, and suddenly, yeah, exactly. Not even mentioning all the other shows. And
Wow.
because we're not even 100% sure in 2022 what the schedule will be for Disney Plus releases. We approximately know the rest of the year, except there's a couple gaps that have yet to be filled. But yeah, we'll have by the time we get to that point, we'll have already seen all of Loki. I mean, that's so strange to me to think.
Yep. Loki is tentatively now, I think, slated June 11th.
Yeah.
So it'll kind of fill in. It'll be that little space. Well, it'll actually be running before Black Widow, actually. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What If sometime in the summer, and then we still have Hawkeye and Ms. Marvel for the rest of this year. Moon Knight, She-Hulk next year.
Yeah, and there's still, even though this is still in the weird nebulous news thing. We always had a section on Road to Infinity where we talked about news and rumors. Who is Moon Knight? Because there's still this weird thing going on where a lot of people have talked about Oscar Isaac in the role, and there's been no announcement about him. Like, I think it was Sebastian Stan was even talking about how hard he's working, and then they released or I think it was Oscar Isaac himself, put out video of him training for Moon Knight, and he still hasn't been announced.
Right.
Like there's been no confirmation. There's been no word at all of that he's Moon Knight, and yet everybody's talking like, yeah, he's Moon Knight.
See, they're doing their best to save secrets for the virtual cons this summer. There'll be announcements.
Okay.
I think. Well, okay. Tie this.
Coming, so.
Right. Tie this to what we talked about, toys and stuff. If you haven't seen this, again, we won't spoil you. Let's just say that there was a news of a certain character in a currently streaming episodic show set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His costume that may or may not appear in this current show, that leaked. That's out there. We had talk of a certain Web Slingers movie that apparently some images leaked in just in the last few days about some wrap-up items that possibly spoiled other characters that might be appearing in that movie. Again, going to keep it all happy for everybody. Mm-hmm. But, okay, you know who I give a lot of credit to? Did you see the story about Benedict Cumberbatch? He was in a Zoom meeting or some Zoom interview, and
he's on the promotional tour for The Courier right now.
Yes.
So he's making the rounds through Zoom. I mean, obviously we're still in socially distancing interviews, but one day of shooting when he had press at the end of the day, apparently they did not have time to remove his makeup or something before he was allowed to do the interview. So he had to do it with the camera pointed at the ceiling because apparently whatever was going on here was a spoiler.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
What does that mean? I know. I appreciate. Way to go,
exactly.
Ben. I mean, way to think of it. To see ahead and go, oh wait, they probably shouldn't see this. What?
Right.
But what could that mean? Is it just because he has a full beard at one point in the show? I mean, does something with his eyes? Does he get partially transformed? So he had actually prosthetic?
Yeah.
I don't know, but already that has raised my interest. I'm like, what could possibly happen to him?
I was glad to see that. I'm like, okay, again, even because all this stuff is coming Fast and Furious. I'm glad that we're keeping some things secret and, a surprise. craziness. I still can't get over that schedule. I can't
Yeah.
believe there's this much stuff coming all in the next 10, 12 months. Oh, yikes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What else? Do you have any other? Do you see any other?
No, that's
news?
pretty much all the news that I heard.
So we do have, of course, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes. Before we get into talking about this, though, I wanted to take a small aside.
Transition.
So yes.
Yes.
So actually, this is a good transition between the two because I had read an interview with Ed Brubaker. Ed Brubaker, for those who don't know, is the creator of the Winter Soldier, and like as a lot of we're so used to the classic characters as being around for a while. Winter Soldier's not that old, so Ed Brubaker is like 50. Like he's a contemporary. He's current. Like this.
Yeah, he's a
Winter Soldier
peer.
hasn't been around
Holy
that long.
cow.
Right. So in this interview, he said they were talking like, oh, it must be exciting, like to see he's like a title character. And he's like, well, no. I mean, he's like I'm kind of ambivalent about it because while I am excited that something I created lives on, it's theirs now and they can do whatever they want with it. Like I didn't know that was coming out until I saw the announcement with everybody else, and so it got me thinking about that because Stan Lee is gone, Jack Kirby is gone, like all these Golden Age creators have left us unfortunately, and so a lot of their creations are sort of on it. But now there's another wave of characters who have been created by people who are still in the business, still doing stuff, and are now completely out of their control and are being all this stuff, and it. I don't know. It leaves me a little ambivalent as well. So I started thinking about that in terms of wrestling too. Like we're big wrestling fans, and so one thing that Disney and wrestling share is they tend to squeeze people dry and leave them to bake in the sun on their own. Like they take their good years, and then after that they don't want to have anything to do with them. Like there's no retirement plan for either of these careers. This is something that I think Disney really needs to address. Is you can't just like steal. I'm not steal. I know they work for hire. I get it's all legal. It's all legitimate. This, and it's what Walt wanted. Right. So let's not forget that. But having then these characters making hundreds of millions of dollars while the creators are doing okay, and some of them are not doing okay. Like some of the sort of the Silver Age creators, their health is not great, and they're continuing on. I mean, you look up the story of the creator of Rocket Raccoon. Like it was he did not die in a mansion. Like it was not a happy ending. So. But what can we do about that? Okay, so that's sort of what my call to action is here a little bit too. So if you're just like basically like just scraping by, just trying to get through your times, great. I've been with you. I've been there. I'm at the point now where I'm like feeling comfortable. But like I have been in the peanut butter and ramen days, so I get it. I would just ask if you're enjoying Falcon and Winter Soldier. Send him a tweet. Like Ed Brubaker is out there. He is still going on there. Just let him know. Like, look, thank you for your work. I love the show. That's great. If you're at a point where you can have a little bit of disposable income, go buy one of his books. And I don't mean go buy Falcon and Winter Soldier tie-ins. I don't mean go and buy all the great work he did on Iron Fist, on Daredevil. Like he had a great run. He did some good stuff on at the Distinguished Competition as well. Don't buy those because for every dollar that goes into Disney's pocket, he'll get maybe a nickel, and that's if he's lucky. I'm talking about his independent creator-owned projects. So like he's done tons of crime comics. They're really, really good. Fatale and Criminal. You can just look him up on Amazon and you see there. If you really want to get high, buy the physical copy because more money from a physical copy goes into thing. If you buy it like on Kindle or Comixology, most of that goes to Bezos. So. Once again, whatever you can do is great. He's doing okay. Like I'm not saying it's bad, but I like this to be a trend. Like when these characters come around, when Miss Marvel comes around, like G. Willow Wilson like helped create that character. She's still around to like give something directly to that person because Disney's not. And I think as fans, we kind of need to do our part to help keep creators going because we don't get Winter Soldier without an Ed Brubaker. This is what they do, and they're good at it, and we enjoy the fruits of their labor, and they don't get to. So I don't know. Is it a high horse? Yeah, sure. But like, I think if you're really, really enjoying the show that you're paying $6 a month to access, whatever, buying a $20 book, $15 book, whatever it is a really nice, simple way to have a little bit more of the money going back to the person who actually helped create the thing that you liked.
No, I totally agree. Okay, so two things on that.
Yeah.
One, okay, interesting life and art juxtaposing to one another. In the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we had this idea of how do the superheroes make a living.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It got me thinking that way too.
I mean, that's
sort of like, okay.
So Disney, come on, let's think about that. Everybody who's doing this, you got to figure out a way to help pay back the inspirations for all these stories, and I think that's valid. Okay, so second question. Mm-hmm. I think there's been an opportunity. People would think that it's even more harder now for them to get compensated because there's no Comic-Cons in person. Like they don't get to sit and sign items or sell items. Yeah, that's
especially
big
for
part
the artist. I would say, like,
right.
I'm talking about just the writer. I mean, like, he's a co-creator because you have writers as well. Those guys have been hit really hard this year because they make a lot of money at conventions doing sketches and signing original art and stuff too. I mean, the authors do as well, but like, it could be like half the income for an artist. So if there's a comic book artist you like, find them. They're online, and even WonderCon's doing a good job this year, I think, of creating sort of a virtual artist alley that you can go in, and they have sort of little tabs that set up where you can find your artist and buy a print. Like buy something directly from them, like whatever's on their website. There's a couple of artists that I follow that have their stuff out there, and it could be there could be like a $5, card print or whatever. For that, like $4 of that goes into their pocket, right. So it's a good percentage, It's as much as they have these books that continue to sell, and the money from that goes to them. The percentage is not in their favor. So whatever creative you like, try and do what you can to support them because it's been hard on them too.
Well said, sir. Seriously,
I'll step off my editorial soapbox now.
So, Kyle Soapbox. That's going to be a new regular segment. You have to let me know, and boom, we'll bring out the soapbox.
Okay.
No, really. I mean, no. Geez.
Stan had a soapbox, so why can't I? Right?
Yeah. No, we're all obviously, and the world is different, and it's coming back, but there's going to be things that are going to change with it. All of that stuff. I totally agree. I mean, we love these stories. We love where they're taking them, and I have no issues with a company purchasing the rights to a character and running with it. That happens.
It's work for hire, and everyone knew it going in. So I'm not even doing like the Siegel-Schuster thing, which they had a legitimate gripe too. But I understand that. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I think nurturing creatives is good for everyone.
Yes. There we go. All right. Well, the discussion's begun. The gauntlet has been thrown down. How do I figure this out?
Now let's talk about another group of creative people who have been doing the show. So Falcon and Winter Soldier, another group of creative people who came together and wrote this show and do that. And I basically am taking back all of the criticism I put last week because this episode was so good that I was like, all right, clearly you guys do know what you're talking about. I kind of wish the two of them had been combined. Like it had been like WandaVision where they had put out 2 episodes back to back because this episode had everything that I wanted and more.
Okay, so wait. Can I just say this?
Go ahead. I talked a lot, so go ahead.
Oh no, but get ready because
my wife told me you need to let Rob talk.
No, stop. No, not at all. Wet your whistle because guess what? I'm going to throw it down. This was my least favorite episode of the entire Marvel episodic universe so far.
Really? Now?
Yeah.
You mean WandaVision and this?
Correct.
Okay. Are you going
episodic?
Back to...
No.
Okay, well,
no,
I'm talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways
Disney
and
Plus,
Dagger and
Disney Plus original episode.
Daredevil and Punisher and I just want to know what the line is. That's all
wow. No, thank you for clarifying. Yes, you're absolutely right. No, I gotta tell you,
because there's a little show you should watch called Iron Fist, and I think it'll raise this level up to.
I like Defenders. I don't know. It was just me.
Yeah, you like Defenders.
I did.
No, I'm saying I have no problem with Defenders.
Now,
I
know. Yeah, I've heard
until the end. They justified in the end. They came around and they killed it in the last season. And then they killed the show.
So I thought the action sequence was great.
Yes.
But I guess I don't have enough understanding of the Battlestar connection or how that, and maybe so. There, please enlighten me. There we go. This is
it's
okay.
Justify to you why it's good. Well,
yes,
I like the fact that they've introduced a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So in this one, a lot more, and I still like the fact that we're at episode 2 of a 6-episode series. Ever, like it's at 6, they're done forever, and 2 of the characters who are in the top 4 names are still not on the show. It still just blows my mind. But so we have our titled characters have finally met. So thank goodness for that. They're on the mission together. We have our antagonist. I mean, we found who the leader of the Flag Smashers are. The Flag Smasher herself. I mean, that
was good. That was really good too. That reveal was neat.
We get to see who this new guy wearing Cap's outfit is, and his and my wife's like, he's got a black sidekick, and I'm like, oh, that's not an accident. Like,
oh yeah,
I think that was chosen for the optics. Like, I think that's part of this. But then we get to get deep into why Sam gave up the shield. I mean, they have the therapy session. We get to see their 2 characters head to head, like their conflict with each other, what's going on with that, as opposed to just bickering, because they both have legitimate points and legitimate beef. You can see both sides of the argument, and then you introduce Isaiah, and that adds a whole nother element to it, and then going immediately from that to how horrible this man was treated. And freaking Carl Lumley, it's like he showed up. I'm like, I didn't even know he was in the show. I love Carl Lumley. He is the best Martian Manhunter so far. Oh, I won't say ever, but and Alias, and he's just an amazing, amazing human being. And then to have that, and then immediately go out and they're having discussion, still continuing on, why did Sam turn back? Why did he take the role of Captain America? And then he gets racially profiled by 2 cops right there. And so turn to Bucky going, This is why I didn't just take all of this packed into 40 minutes, and then freaking at the end, Zemo, baby.
Zemo, I know,
the tease for that, and and if I've watched it twice now, that end thing where they're talking about that, we need to go talk to Zemo. I don't think Bucky is planning on going and just having a sit down conversation with him, because they said we'll go meet up with him, and it's yeah. He's gonna bust him out.
Oh, of course. Well, no, there's more to. Oh no, there's been a lot of rumors about what Zemo's role is. Yes.
Oh yeah. And I saw Nerdist did a really nice recap video. And at the end of it, they showed, because next stop is Madripoor, which they talked about, and it's been in all the trailers. And when they show the shot of Madripoor again, when they go around the front of the frame are 3 characters walking. Now, we all assumed that was Sharon Carter, but it looks like it's Zemo. So Zemo says, we need to go to Madripoor. And then the 3 of them go on it. So, Falcon and Winter Soldier and Zemo on a road trip?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
No, I think I'm surprised.
Chock full of content.
And I haven't seen it. I've only seen it once. My wife's got to see it, so we got to watch it again.
Sure.
Here's the thing. I guess I just thought the action sequence was great. I just don't like the new Captain America, and I'm surprised that
you're not supposed to.
Well, you're not supposed to. But I mean, but here's the thing. I actually thought, and I know people have theorized this, I thought he was just going to get killed in the 2nd episode.
Oh.
Right? I honestly thought, I thought maybe they were just going to go, oh yeah, here he is, and the government, and guess what? The government's got egg on their face, and it's done. It's a total disaster. The middle 2nd act of this will be all the ramifications of that, and then the 3rd act, obviously, we hope our hero becomes the ultimate hero. Yeah. That's clearly not what's happening.
No.
I mean, and I guess it wasn't my expectation is what threw me off. It's just, wow, I didn't expect Isaiah. Yeah, I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
And yet I think the whole, the profiling scene by the cop, and it wasn't even just that it was profiling, it was, oh, but now we know who you are, we'll treat you differently.
Yes.
Which is
that's
horrible.
all part of the story that they're telling. And it's interesting that Marvel is sort of choosing to talk about this, because they could have gone the very safe Disney route and just been like, everybody loves Avengers, everything's great. When you're Avenger, everything is fine. But now we're getting to see some of the that the Marvel world is our world. Like that is one of the things that they have always said is it's just a slight reflection, as opposed to DC, which has always said we're going our own direction. Like this is not your universe. Marvel is always happening now, and then we're getting to see some of the dealing things we deal with now. Even 5 years in the future post blip, some things never change.
Well, I think that's a really great. No, and this is the end of the first act. You would think so. Now Zemo comes in. Wow, I expect it to get boom, just take off again. I think that is wonderful though to see how willing they have been now with WandaVision and this to really explore the complexities of heroism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not just in a fictitious way, but in a very real way. Like
Right.
yeah, look at the stumbling blocks and the obstacles and the inner battles that take place. No, the show is great. I guess I was surprised. It left me like very disjointed, but maybe that was probably the intent.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, like that's my daughter is just like, oh, I hate this Captain America. I hate him. And I was like,
seriously,
you're kind of supposed to. I mean, because that's the thing. He's not Steve Rogers because this is the guy who's going to follow orders. Like this is the one who'd be like, Sokovia Accords, where's a pen? I mean, like he's the one who's like
well, that's 100%
right? like yes sir, whatever. Like he's so. I like the fact that there already are elements to it, but he's not an out and out villain because it's sort of like no, he's doing his job. I mean, but he's doing what he was hired to do.
Right.
And hopefully he's being paid for it. Where Falcon, it turns out, is not.
Is there anything? Should anybody know anything about Battlestar? Does Battlestar have a future?
Yes, he actually was Bucky originally. When they brought back the new Captain America when Steve was gone, they brought in a new Captain America, and they actually had him as Bucky. So he was actually in the Bucky outfit for a while, and then went, yeah, this doesn't work for me, and so he changed over and he became Battlestar. So he actually and he was the sidekick to this Captain America.
Gotcha.
So I mean, like it always, that is part of precedent. I'm curious to see if they're going to say that there was a Battlestar already, because Bucky had such a big reaction when he heard that it kind of made me go, huh. I wonder if like we're gonna find out that Isaiah, when he was Captain America, and in the comic books he actually wore the outfit. Like Isaiah, when he in the 50s, like I think it was 50s, wore like the full Captain America outfit overseas. Like they never they never allow it to be photographed. I haven't read that since it came out.
Okay.
But I'm curious if they're going to say that he also had a Battlestar.
Gotcha.
Then that's why Bucky was sort of like, oh, you know what? Like you don't get to just take everything.
Right.
So, and I'm curious to see what they're going with that, because if they're going where they think they're going, we'll see Isaiah again, and we're going to see the kid who was there with him, his grandson, is very important to the MCU. I'm curious to see if they're going to do that, because if they follow comic book lore, and spoilers, obviously, if you want to stay clean, he eventually becomes a member of the Young Avengers.
They're laying the foundation,
right? Because that's
in
4 now.
Multiple places. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. We see where this is going. That's awesome.
Maybe. Yeah. I think we're gonna. I think that story has not been told yet. And also, dear Marvel, please show me that story. Like, I want to see young Isaiah meeting, young Bucky.
Yeah.
And tearing his arm off. Like, show me that story. Like, bring back the one-shots and just have that. Just the bar fight. Just like you don't have to do anything before or after.
Wow.
Just literally one set, one fight scene, 10 minutes.
Okay. That's... I feel much better now. It's going to be great.
Sorry, if you hear that is not my phone ringing. That is my wife's iPad ringing across the
this is what live is.
Right.
So, okay, so moving on. I kind of have a new segment for today. I just turned myself blue. I had to go through a paradigm shift there or something.
So is this a WandaVision thing? Or are you like in the 1950s now?
I don't know, Kyle, if you've heard, but it's becoming very popular. This gray, there's a phrase, justice is gray. Oh, yes. What am I talking about?
Are you talking about the distinguished competition?
I'm just
DC?
okay. So we're going to
have allowed to talk about that on the Marvel Movie Minute Live?
We are. It's a new segment. It's called The Other Guys. Now, it's God, that's horrible.
And you know, I'd say
So many levels.
Dual wielding guns? Sure.
I had to. Well, Batman not Superman. Who knows? And Wonder Woman's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Okay. Normally, and okay, let me get rid of the gray. Even though I will say, I look sharp in gray.
Yeah, you're very noir.
I.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so I'm back. Two things that we just had to bring up. One. Okay, so we please listen to the other. What is it? The film board we did. Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I believe it's a member bonus episode, so you might have
Okay.
to actually become a member in order to get.
Please
to
become a member.
Yes,
thenextreel.com
we had an hour and a half long conversation about the Snyder Cut.
Oh, you got to hear us. I get yelled at. It's amazing.
You do.
Oh, I got it, and I deserve it because I'm a troll sometimes. Who knows? But yes, please. Okay. So have you at all looked at the Justice is Gray version?
No. Is it not desaturated enough? Like that was one of the points I made when we were having the conversation. Is I like color. I like color, and especially in superheroes. I like color in superheroes too.
All right. So what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, they released. It's on HBO Max. You can watch it in grayscale, and it's not just grayscale.
Justice League, the
they
Snyder
tuned it.
Cut, is that you can watch it in black and white if you want to.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
It's spectacular.
Okay.
No, it really is. Because I saw a story that people are just watching it over and over again. They're like playing it in black and white. I got to tell you, there is detail you don't see in the regular version. And I didn't watch the whole thing. Don't think I spent 4 hours watching it. I went to my parts that I wanted to see.
Sure.
It's really cool. If you're into
Superman
that.
fight?
Yeah, it's cool. Whenever her lasso is on screen, it's the only thing you see because it's brilliant white. It's actually kind of cool. That's worth saying. I'm just telling you stuff. Okay. The other reason why we bring up our friends on the other side of the aisle, a little trailer dropped last week. We enjoyed it tremendously.
Yeah.
And we should just mention
the minute it came out, like our thread on the phone, we're just going back and forth. Oh my gosh. And that is, of course, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Not to be confused with Suicide Squad, which was
different.
Another movie. Yeah,
it's different.
The definitive article makes all the difference. Yeah, that rated R trailer drop. So if you're the under 17 thing, then don't watch it.
Nope.
Unless you get your parents' permission. Wink.
I mean, yeah.
Because he earns that R. Boy, I tell you, like just in what they show us, like you can see why it is going to be a hard R.
And verbally, there's some things that you would not hear.
Yeah.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Seriously?
So when James Gunn was briefly fired from Marvel, DC was quick to swing in and say, what do you want to do? And so he went, well, I want to do his version of the Suicide Squad that I liked. I mean, he is a comic book fan, so he liked the John Ostrander run of comics. He's like, I want to make a movie like this. And they said, great. And they signed him up. And so he went off and wrote that movie exactly the way he wanted. No filters, no limits, no continuity, nothing. He didn't have to worry about any of it. And then, of course, by the time that movie was in production, then Marvel went, could you make one more movie for us? And brought him back and re-signed him up for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is still to be made. And that'll be coming out in Phase 5 at this point.
Who knows at this point? Well, I don't know. At this point, it could be June of next year.
Yeah. But now we got to see what he's been working on, and it looks phenomenal. Like, it's funny, and it's weird, and it's bright colors. Like, there you go. There's the difference between the two. The fact that these are supposed to exist in the same universe, the Justice League Snyder Cut and the Suicide Squad, is just mind-boggling because they look so remarkably different. It's like it's like when you first see the things for Thor Ragnarok, and you go, wait, that's a Thor movie? Because it doesn't look anything like any of the previous stuff that had come before. I cannot wait. And it comes out on my birthday. So
August 6th.
Thanks, James Gunn.
Yay!
Thank you for giving me an early birthday present.
No, what did I say? The first text message I said to you and Pete was, Mr. Pibb. And you were like, okay, I like Mr. Pibb, but what is this all about? Oh my God. I got to tell you, when we'll offshoot from this when we wrap up.
Sure.
James Gunn clearly has an incredible grasp on ensemble stories, right? Like
which is not an easy thing to do. As a writer, I can tell you, balancing that is really hard because, like, who talks now and who hasn't talked in a long time, and then having them all be three-dimensional characters, that is a very rare skill that only a few writers can really do.
Do you know what I want to see him do? When he, in like 5-10 years, bring back the whole Around the World in 80 Days or something. You know, like the big, what was it, the Cannonball Run? What were the movies?
Okay.
I might have been confusing those. The Burt Reynolds movies with
Around
Dom
the World 80
DeLuise.
Days. Oh, yeah,
Around the World in 80 Days.
Those magnificent men in their flying machines.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, Grand Prix.
Yes,
like
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm an idiot. No, like those, like do something that you bring.
That's why
a
there's
cast.
two hosts to the show.
Yes. Bring in like the Expendables with like a whole, and just do an insane thing, all new, no source material.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that would be great. Like to have it be, have the James Gunn version of Rat Race. I guess that's the first contemporary version of it I can think of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The James Gunn. It's a mad world.
That's what I was thinking of. That's where I got messed up. Is that the one where Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. are priests? Well, they're dressed as priests. They're not. But they. Where's the one
or is that Cannonball Run? I think that might be Cannonball.
That might be Cannonball Run. Oh wow, we went. Yeah. I should have.
Yeah. This is what the show is like, by the way. If you haven't listened to Marvel Movie Minute, this is what the show.
This is what you'll get.
Turns into.
All right. Well, I think that's enough. That's enough chatter for the day.
I think so.
Hey, looking up towards the week ahead.
Yeah.
So we're going to welcome to the Marvel Movie Minute.
There he is.
Author Ryan Dalton, good friend of yours. Wait, why are all the pictures? I just realized we had.
Everybody looks this way.
Yeah. What's up with?
What's over there? I want. What's over there? I don't.
What are we doing? What?
Okay. Middle distance. That's what it is.
We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Tune in. Make sure you go to all your pod catchers of choice.
And while you're buying some new Ed Brubaker books, pick up a copy of Ryan Dalton's books. He has the Time Shift trilogy. That's a young adult series. The first one is very, very good, and you'll want to buy the other two immediately after you do that. Year of Lightning. That is the first one.
Okay, that's perfect.
He's just here as a fan. Like, he doesn't even chill his books. So let me be the one to say they're good. You should go and read them.
That's fantastic. All right, well, tune in. We've got some great stuff coming up on the Marvel Movie Minute, and tune in.
May
Sundays.
or may not be Batman. It's in his bio.
Not
saying he is. Not saying he isn't.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, we will see. Tune us in Sundays at noon. This is just fun for us to catch up on all of the craziness, and we'd love to have you with us.
That's right.
So thanks again for joining us.
Enough said.
Bye.